Hey, I'm Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for where to find me digitally, information about the sound tools I'm using today, links to my Truefire masterclass, and hey, my new record, Eric Haugen, Bundle Up, is streaming and downloadable wherever you stream and download music. Today we're talking about modal interchange. I don't know if I'm going to title the video that because that's a very intimidating concept. This is part of my music theory series, which, by the way, I think you might start to notice this is really about songwriting. This is video 22, I think. Here's the deal. Ready? Simplest explanation. Hey, when you're in a major key, yeah, you can use the chords from that key, C major in this case, C, F, G, C. But you're actually also allowed to use chords from any of the parallel modes, as in C mixolydian, C Lydian, C aeolian, C Dorian, really any of them you can actually pull from. But today let's just talk about pulling from minor, aeolian, the aeolian mode, because that's like the most common thing to do. Let's look at how this works. So in the example there of the outro from Layla, you got a C, then you're going to put that C over E. That's a slash chord. I have a video on those. You got an F, that's the 4 chord. And then listen to what happens when this B flat 7 comes in. And that was, yeah, I can remember the moment that was explained to me by Bruce Katz at Berkeley. He played it on piano because you have major key, which has its major kind of sound, 1, still really a 1 chord, 4, and then when you bring that B flat in, the shadow of minor comes into the song, and that's the good stuff. That's the surprise chord. Another wisdom that was passed on to me, I think, by Scott McCormick, one of the professors up there. Good composing is all about surprising the listener by creating expectations or playing around with their expectations. We know 1, 4. You would think it would go to 5, a G chord, but you subvert that by bringing in that B flat 7, and that's a pleasant surprise. You know, I've talked about this in other videos that, like, there's pleasant surprises and then there's clunky surprises, like, for example, C over E, yeah, that was a flat minor 7 flat 5. Yeah, that's a surprise, but it's a hideous and pointless surprise. It's a bad plot twist. It just doesn't work. So let's just go through some of the common chords that get borrowed. Yeah, the first one would be that flat 7 chord, which, you know, that's from C minor. That's actually a pretty good chord progression. Hold on, C minor. By the way, hey, you know what? I'll tab all this stuff out and put it up on my Patreon site for free. Go ahead, head over there and grab it if you want it. C minor, F minor, B flat, B diminished. I have lessons on the lovely diminished chords as well. They're so cool. So yes, the flat 7 chord shows up all over. Now, if I'm still thinking about major keys, oh, let's have fun. Let's go to the key of E major. Okay, say we're in E major. Yes, that was a Pixies riff. One of the biggest ones you heard me foreshadow there a little bit, Layla. Nope, not Layla, Lola. Let's look at this. E, A, D, E. second half of the verse though. Here it comes. I love Dave Davies. Well, I love the Kinks in general. But what we have there in Lola, E is the 1, A is the 4, and hey, I've talked about this in my Mixolydian video, D. Why is a D in the key of E? It's the flat 7 chord. Again, that, if you know, we're pretty far into the music theory series, but we call it flat 7 because of the distance from the root. That's a flat 7th interval. So, which again, such a classic rock thing to do. You'll see so many classic rock songs that are E, D, A, G, L, O, R, I, A. You know, Sympathy for the Devil. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Just so many are going to have E, D, and A. So that's where that flat 7 comes from. And again, the same thing. You can feel the shadow come in when he goes Lola. That C chord, that's not in the key of E major. That should be a C sharp minor if we were truly in the key of E major. So yeah, that C is coming from the key of E minor. Again, you can feel the darkness come in. Great major pentatonic fill there on that E chord. I'll tab it out, I'll put it up there. But yeah, that C is the flat 6 chord. So yeah, that's an example of that. The other most common one that is just oh so lovely, let's say we're in the key of G. It's really fun for a songwriter to put the minor 4 chord in. So let's see, the 4 chord should be a C. Instead, let's make it a C minor. Again, spooky, spooky, spooky darkness. So let's say we got a chord progression that went G. G major 7, why not? G7, C over G. Here comes a C minor. Let me do higher voicings. C minor. Yeah, I like this voicing of C minor. Yeah, the minor 4 is a very, very cool one. It actually shows up in Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. I won't, yeah, I probably just saying that, I put that in your head. Sorry, it's a very much an earworm of a song. I know a lot of people hate on that song, because it does get completely overplayed, but as a music teacher, I will defend the structure and the melody of that song as being very, very brilliant. I won't go further than that, though. So, that we covered using the flat 7 chord, using the flat 6 chord, using the minor 4 chord. Those are 3 of the coolest ways to bring darkness into your major key progressions. Now let's talk about maybe, you know, doing some experiments with common progressions and bringing spooky, spooky surprise sounds in there in a way that's going to work. Let's say we're in the key of D. All right, so 1, 4, 5, 1. Very common progression. Let's talk about the 1, 5, 6, 4. Notice, yeah, I'm doing specific strum patterns. I call this Frank Sinatra my way, because, you know. Final curtain. I love that song. Again, I'll defend the structure of that song. But anyway, 1, 5, 6, 4. delay back on. You know, that's not surprising at all. And, you know, nothing wrong with doing stuff that stays squarely within the key. That's nice too. Okay, though, what if I just want to do something a little bit weird? Let's leave the 1 alone, the 5 alone, because, again, if you're going to use a surprise, wait a little bit. Wait till an important part, or let it, again, you build up the expectation of like, oh, I think I know what's going on, and then you surprise them. So I'm going to replace the 6 chord, the B minor. Let's see, what would the 6 chord in D minor be? Let's see. A B flat again, but this time it's the flat 6 chord. Let's see. Here comes a surprise. I like that. It's just a little surprise. It's not this big clunky thing coming at you. And by the way, yeah, I guess last week I played Velvet Underground, Cool It Down, which actually has that. Here comes that B flat. 1, 5, there it is. So yeah, there's how you would sneak it in. You just take 1 and replace the standard chord with the surprise chord from either a parallel Aeolian, or again, I'm not going to open up the multiverse to all the modes that we can borrow from. Let's just, but yeah, you can. And we're not even talking about key changes today, which that's a whole other thing, to completely change the key of a section of a song. We're not talking about that today. We're just talking about bringing in little minor shadows to the stuff that you're writing. I'll leave us with one more. Neil Young's Old Man. Neil Young doesn't get, I think, the credit he deserves for his music theory trickery that's going on, and honestly his rhythm guitar playing. A lot of things, because of the way he looks and the way his guitar sounds, people think he's sloppy and stupid. He's not. He's you don't get to be Neil Young by being stupid. But yeah, let's check out Old Man. That's also key of D. We got an F. That's from D minor. That's the flat 3 chord, because again, that's distance from the root. F is a flat 3rd away. Oh, look. There's C. That's the flat 7 chord, because again, distance from the root. But then the regular 4. So he replaced 2 of the inside chords with minor key chords. Where's that go? But yeah, that, which is also kind of a sub thing I've noticed, like classic rock will also kind of do a thing where it's just, if you're analyzing classic rock, sometimes they'll just make every chord a major chord wherever they want. That's a thing Hendrix would do, and a lot of people would do, just like, major, 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 major. They just would just make anything a major chord. So sometimes this stuff defies theory. In fact, often it does. We'll leave it at that for today. So the main thing to take away is, again, this visualization of when you're in, hey, look at the neck dive on this. When you're in a major key, you kind of start in a major key, realize that you're going down that road or that path, that trail. You can kind of look to the sides, and there's D minor over there. There's D Dorian over there. There's D Mixolydian over there. And that's why, yeah, knowing modes, knowing this stuff, see, this is why I believe this stuff is useful. That's why I make videos about it in my kitchen/living room apartment. Thanks so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do, even if it's just clicking like and subscribe, because that all helps with the algorithm relevancy, because I don't put ads on my channel because they're annoying. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.